Hello and welcome to Pretty Good Gaming. My name's Gareth Evans. I'm joined by Mr. Henry Cooper, who is in control.
I certainly wouldn't go that far. There's idiots flying around.
So this is our gameplay series where we're playing some early game of a new game.
Well, it's going so well. I'm already nearly dying.
And Henry is using his force powers right now to show us what control is like. Now, you've had hands on with this game for how long would you say?
When did I buy? I think I bought it on Sunday, so I've played about 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm not too deep in yet, but be warned, there might be a few odd spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Just be aware.
So the idea of this video is to give you a brief snapshot of what the game is like, whether you would enjoy playing it or not, whether we like it, what our first impressions are on it, and also what other people have been saying about it. I've got some snippets of reviews and stuff that we can go through during the course of the video. So sit back, relax, and let Henry take you down this journey.
I don't want to go down there.
Of discovery in this game.
Well, we'll try and discover, because there's a lot to discover, because there's a big mystery. So the game is... You're in this building called the Oldest House, and it's this big, mysterious, kind of TARDIS-like building from in the middle of New York. And so there's lots of weird stuff. It's just
sci-fi stuff going on.
It's so strange, no one can even comprehend it type nonsense. Such as this light switch, which looks like an ordinary bog-standard light switch. Oh, look, everything's blue. Oh, no, everything's yellow. But wait, whoa! We're somewhere new.
Holy shit.
It's just full of bizarre goings-on.
So it's quite paranormal, right? There's weird stuff happening. You've got superpowers, right?
Yeah.
So this isn't...
I don't think I've got any in this place. It's probably not the best place to show them off. But yeah, so you're...
So just 1 second. You said you don't have any in this place. So does that mean that your powers are determined by where you are, maybe?
See, I don't know if that's a story thing, but there's definitely certain areas where it won't let me use my powers in this mysterious parallel place, this Ocean View Hotel, which I've been to a couple of times. I can't use them there. I don't really know why.
Oh, well, that's a mystery.
Oh, look. This is next-gen gameplay.
Wow, you can push the chair. Can you sit? You can't even sit on the chair. I mean, come on.
Oh, that's nice. Just make sure you straighten up the picture. But one from Ultimate Radio over there. See, here we go. This is the future, people.
Fiddle with everything.
We
in this
are
game.
here. Yeah.
Wow.
And what more do you want? Moving plant pots around.
Well, this game is pitched as a high. Really good combat game, like an action game. Like this is what a lot of people are saying that they like about this game: the combat, the action. Like this sequence here is like you're moving radio around and you're moving a chair around. Like what? Obviously, this plays a part in the story.
Yeah, this is a bit of a puzzle. And right there, so before I carry on with the switch, you can see one of the issues in the game. And when I first spotted this stuff, I thought it was an interesting visual thing. Like, oh, all the pictures are weird, but they're not supposed to be. It's a technical error in that they're not rendered in properly. You can see how like pixelated the railing is, and now it's coming into clearer view, and you can see it much better. So I thought that was a cool, deliberate thing at first, but it's not.
Part of the sci-fi of it.
Yeah, right? Like maybe there's something
it's actually not.
Nonsense going on. And that is the biggest problem. See there, it got very framey.
Yeah.
Biggest problem with this game, because we're playing it on the vanilla PS4, which by all accounts performs the worst out of everything.
Yeah.
And... like, it's not a massive problem for me personally, because I'm quite forgiving for this sort of stuff. So long as I'm having fun at the end of the day, I can forgive it.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, I imagine this is going to be a serious downer.
Yeah, the game was released to PS4, Xbox, and PC, and by all accounts, the console versions are struggling from what they said. A Digital Foundry report that delved into the performance of it revealed how badly the frame rate drops in the hectic how badly the frame rate is affected in the hectic action sequences, as per this GameSpot article. Control targets 30 frames per second on consoles, but the report says it can drop to the 10s on base Xbox One and PS4. Now, we saw a little bit there where it got framey and kind of jittered very slowly, so that obviously it's still there. Hopefully they will release a patch for that and just iron that out, because that's not really good enough, is it? Yeah,
and they have addressed it already, but it's one of those kind of nonsense emails, blog post type things, where it's like, we promise we're working on it, but just be patient with us. We can't do it all in one day. We're only human, haha. And it's like, well, maybe in a perfect world, you should have had this solved beforehand.
You would expect it from it's a AAA game, right?
Yeah, from Remedy.
Remedy, right? They're not new to the block, right? They've made big games in the past. Quantum Break, the Max Payne series, and Alan Wake. It's just a few of the games that they have made. You would have thought that they would have had the time to iron this out, because by all accounts, everything else associated with the game is pretty damn good from what I've heard. But it's just not optimized well enough, right? Which
is a shame, but by all accounts, the PC version is rather something to behold, especially if you've got the ability to run ray tracing, because then it looks really, really pretty. And currently, I'm lost.
Well, I think that is represented in the Metacritic review scores. So on the whole, let's go over them now. 81% on PS4, which is a great score, right? Great score, 81%. Sure. However, it is a little bit higher on the Xbox, 83, and then higher still on the PC, which is 85. And maybe that is reflecting the performance issues.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Whereas on the PC, you do get the ray tracing, which apparently
dropping a little bit.
Really nice.
Yeah, it's meant to be like the kind of new benchmark for ray tracing. So people are saying anyway.
So these are the bad guys.
Yeah,
is there any explanation why are they the baddies?
They are called the Hiss, and they're essentially just workers in this place, the oldest house. They're employees, but they've been it's getting really jittery there. They've been like corrupted by this mysterious crap that's going around and messing with my horrendous frame rate.
Damn those corrupted enemies.
Yeah, I know, right? There's a few different types, people that shoot you, people that fly around, people with shields. But luckily, I've got a bunch of exciting abilities to mess them up with.
That looks sweet.
The most fun of which, when the frame rate does cooperate, is essentially just the Force. I can throw stuff, and then you got like the regular shooting is fine. It's just third person shooting. But as soon as you start getting this ability to throw boxes and pretty much more or less anything in the environment at your enemies, it gets so much more fun. And you can upgrade it so you can throw things further and use less energy and stuff, but also so that you can lift human enemies when they're dead. So he's a dead body now, so I can lift him up.
So that's something that you unlock. So there's a progression skill tree thing?
Yeah, so there's you can but equip mods to your guns to give you different stat buffs. So I think my current one is to boost reload speed, and then you get different guns as well. Well, that's not technically accurate, because you really just have the one gun, but it shapeshifts into other stuff.
Beautiful.
So this one's like a submachine gun type thing. This one's like a shotgun.
That's smooth.
Way more powerful.
I like that. I like how it transitions.
I like that she kind of spins it. It's a bit of flair.
Yeah.
The default one is just like a pistol. And I think there's other ones you can get as well. I haven't got any just yet. So now we're just getting rid of some of this. So
as for the unlocking the abilities, do you obviously you get XP for killing baddies, collecting stuff? How does that work?
So when you kill enemies, you get one of the little currencies. I don't know if I can see it here. Oh, so this is your regular abilities. So you boost your health, energy, and all that. So I've put a lot into my launch, which is your telekinesis ability, so I can make that my primary weapon. Then you've got other ones like your shield, which I don't really use that much. I just try and dodge as much as I can now that I've got the dodge ability.
Yeah.
So it's just pretty standard progression. But then along the bottom, you can see you unlock additional weapon form slots. So you can have a different weapon type. You can get different personal mod slot, which is again like personal buffs, like boosting your health and all that sort of stuff. So the more upgrades in here you get, the more you can get for your weapons and for your character in other screens. But then you can unlock new weapons entirely. Here, I can get a new one called what is that? Let's do whatever that is. Awesome.
Pierce.
Now I've got Pierce Brosnan. Let's see what this does. I bet I don't have anyone to. But I don't have anyone to shoot. Let's get rid of spin, because spin's the SMG. What does this do? Okay.
Let's try out this new.
So it's like an X thing.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. So you're enjoying the combat thus far. You're enjoying the force powers. Is that what you would say?
It's just so fun.
Yeah.
To pick stuff up and smash it at people, and if you can't find anything, you can usually just pull a bit of ground out of the wall,
rip some wall off.
Yeah.
And
one
throw
thing
at enemies
that I wish I had sooner. Well, this bit ability was super handy, and I feel like it should have been there as like a default.
Oh, the dash.
As like a dash. And in a lot of the trailers, you can fly, you can levitate.
Yeah.
But I haven't come across that yet.
Okay.
And a lot of the world is quite vertical, and they're big areas like this. You know, imagine flying around all this space would be way more exciting, give you a lot more mobility, because it's meant to be a fast game. You're not trying to sit in cover, because you can duck and crouch, but you're meant to just keep flying around. But I can't fly yet, so it's a bit annoying. I wish I could get that sooner.
So how is the level design? Like, is it just a linear area? Is it like a big area to explore?
So it's not like an open world or linear, but it's a Metroidvania type. So you've got a map, and this is one of the different areas you go to, and you unlock different doors to get to different areas with different security clearances and whatnot, you know, like a normal Metroidvania. Or when you get new abilities, you can get to new areas.
Oh yeah, you are retracing your steps quite often.
Yeah, but I've not done that too much. Yeah, I've done it a bit, but normally it kind of drops me in a new area before long. And one thing I do like when it works is that the map is live. It doesn't take you to a new screen. You just pop it up and it's there. But one problem that does happen quite a lot, I don't know if it's going to happen now, is that the map doesn't actually load in. All of the markers come in, like where it says the area names, but it doesn't actually
you can
put
see
the
how
shapes.
framey it is in the background there.
Yeah, it is struggling. Although now I just need to figure out where am I going? Atlas Chamber, where am I? It's a very kind of spooky, atmospheric game. Like, I've not seen the show personally, but people compare it a lot to Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And one thing that most reminds me of is something like Inception, because a lot of the imagery is very odd and abstract, and things folding in on each other and collapsing together and whatnot.
Which is great.
Yeah,
Inception's a classic.
I mean, it's awesome. It's definitely a modern classic.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, here we go. What's in the box?
What's in the fucking box?
Oh, so there's loads of this stuff. So there's plenty of nonsense to read, and I mean plenty. It is everywhere. I know this oldest house, which is essentially like an FBI type facility. I know it's kind of having a bad time. See, there's one. But there's classified documents just knocking about everywhere. So I don't feel like they're that classified.
Well, you are in the Federal Bureau of Control, the FBC, which is a made-up fictitious government agency in this game. So, you know, the fact that there's classified things in there is not a surprise, Henry.
Oh, it's not a surprise that they're there, but they're everywhere. They're just in the lobby,
around
on a coffee table.
So what has happened? Like as a bit of a background to the story, doesn't the very beginning of the game? This isn't a huge spoiler, right? But the very beginning of the game, doesn't the manager or the guy who's in control of the FBC, doesn't he die and then you become in control or something like that, right?
So you show up because you're looking for your brother who was kidnapped by them years ago, and you've got a mysterious force like in your head kind of telling you things, and sometimes you'll see a little swirl come up on the screen, and that's it kind of communicating with you. Don't know much about that yet, and it's kind of the most interesting thing about Jessie as a character so far. But again, she might get more interesting, but she's a bit of a blank slate. She's a bit just, I'm here to do a job, but there's not much else going on. But again, I don't know yet, because there might be more beneath the surface.
Sure. I mean, I like a good mystery. It pulls you through. Like a good mystery story can pull you through some of the worst TV shows, boring TV shows, or like games as well. You know, it can pull you through. You know, if the combat isn't so good or the gameplay isn't that good, a good story that you want to get to the end of will always hook me and get me through. So that's good. I mean, that's a tick box for me. That's for sure. The fact that the gameplay, by all accounts, for all of the reviews that I've seen and read, are very praising of the gameplay, which again is another huge tick box for me. Which is why I'm very, very interested in picking this up
here you
myself.
can see the map's not properly loaded, and it's just got all of the names and whatnot. So you just have to refresh it a couple times. Wow, which is a real pain in the arse.
That's an issue.
Yeah, that's it, and just pops in.
There you go.
Like it doesn't persist very long, and it just takes that long, but it pulls you out of the moment, and you're just like, okay, on and off, on and off, on and off, and then eventually it'll cooperate.
Can you understand why they maybe didn't optimize the game for the base PS4 with like the new? I mean, there's obviously new hardware since the base PS4, and then you've got the new generation coming up. You've got PCs to focus on. Does it more than anything? Does it just highlight how old this hardware is now?
I think that might be the case.
Or is it like holding these games back? Because this is literally a system resources issue, right?
Yeah. So because everyone says that it runs pretty fine on the higher end consoles, the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. So they must just be the vanilla versions are just falling behind, and it's kind of just the way it goes.
This to me speaks of like this console generation thing. It's got to come to an end. Like it's just not helping anybody at this point. We have to play games. I mean, obviously they could optimize it. They could scale down the graphics on this system in order to make it not look as good, in order to compensate for that framiness. But like, you don't want that. What you want is the better hardware. Like, and it surprises me how many of the reviews are on the PS4. Like there's like 50 odd reviews on PS4. There's only 20 reviews on PC on Metacritic so far. And why journalists choose to play the game on the inferior systems?
Yeah, surely you'd play on the best one, which is
it's crazy to me. Yeah. And it feels like you've said it in the past. You die.
I don't even know what happened. She got me.
The industry being held back by this old, outdated hardware, and our games are suffering for it now. It's like way beyond time for a new generation of consoles. But that's just my personal opinion.
Although to back that up right here, we've got this one's not so bad. Normally respawning is not too bad, but fast traveling between areas, load screens can drag.
Yeah,
and that's a problem that's just. It's coming across every modern game now because, as we were saying, the hardware's just not quite ready. So that one wasn't so bad. That was fine.
So let's take a look at actually some of the actual reviews. Now, the best review that I've seen so far is a 95 on...
Ooh, that is high.
Digital Chumps this was. 95 on the PS4. Flaws and shortcomings in Control are utterly few and far between. That's not what I'm seeing with my own eyes right here. While the gameplay is highly satisfying and fun. The world Remedy created is full of intrigue from the get-go and stays enthralling without. That's a good point, right? This world is very unique and it's intriguing from the get-go. And it's something that you want to explore, right? The gameplay's fun, you want to go around, you want to...
And I think Metroidvania type gameplay mechanics really lend themselves to a mystery thing.
Yeah.
Because forcing you to come back to areas and give things a second look to see if you can uncover something again. I think that does lend itself quite naturally to the mystique they're going for here.
And this is the most controversial sentence of the snippet I've got here. Barring any major surprises, Control is my personal game of the year for 2019. Now, some people are saying that, right?
Yeah, I've seen the words game of the year thrown around a fair bit. And I can see why for some people, but personally... It's not quite mine yet, but obviously I've not finished the game. The ending and what's left to play could totally blow me out of the water. Where the hell is this monster? Jesus Christ.
But to say that, barring any surprises, this is your game of the year, isn't it jumping the gun a little bit? Like, just over halfway through the year, I can't see any game beating this. I mean, you haven't played The Outer Worlds yet, dude. You haven't played Death Stranding yet, dude. How can you say... something like that as a reviewer, as an objective reviewer? I don't know. I'm just put off by that sentence a little bit. He calls himself Digital Chump. I'm inclined to agree with that. I am inclined to agree. Anyway, the lowest review so far, we got this covered. I don't know, I haven't heard of them before, but here we go.
Oh, they were particularly harsh.
4 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Thanks to poor, bigger is better design choices, technical gaffes, obtuse exploration, well, a bromidic narrative. What the fuck? I mean, if you're using words like bromidic, what the... I'm going to have to Google that. Lacking in originality. Unoriginal. Use the word unoriginal. Unoriginal narrative and zero atmosphere. I don't think that's true from what I'm saying.
No, it's very atmospheric.
Control is soul-crushingly disappointing. Well, a mere shadow of the studio's far superior Alan Wake. Now, that is scathing, like 4 out of 10, and it's the outlier as well. Like, most reviews are in the 70s, 80s. There's nothing in the 60s, nothing in the 40s from what I've seen so far, and it's 4 out of 10.
I think this person, and quite right to have their opinion like that, I think they must have got themselves overhyped for it, obviously being a fan of something like Alan Wake, previous Remedy game.
Yeah, I mean, very disappointed, 2 out of 5. I mean, obviously...
There's a quick thing here. There's Remedy obviously didn't stray too far away from Quantum Break and its TV show elements, because there's these full motion video segments of this chap, Dr. Darling, who's essentially like the head science fella who's just talking to you about a bunch of astral planes and alternate realities and stuff, which I think is really cool, because you watch this little video and then you can go back in and like watch it again and read through all your lore.
How is the story? How does it unfold? Is it like being mysterious for mysterious' sake? Does it annoy you to the point where like you don't know what the hell's going on because they're talking about stupid things that you can't get your head around?
At the moment, because I haven't quite finished it yet, it does feel a bit like mystery for mystery's sake. The actual like character to character interactions are quite sparse.
Yeah.
Although there is one character, and she puts a lot of kind of faith in Jessie being like, because Jessie's now the director of the company, essentially, which entails all kinds of responsibility, and she kind of is the de facto director.
Sure.
And this person seems to sense there's something extra going on with Jessie, which is interesting, and I like that. But I just don't know what, and I've not been given enough threads other than, ooh, you're exciting. Yeah. Oh, I can't believe you did this. Well, like, I'm still waiting for the reason for everything going bad, but because I think it's something to do with Jessie personally, because she's here to find her brother, but she's also like, okay, well, if I can find him, I'll help you do this. Like, by helping myself, I'm helping you.
Yeah.
Like,
so was her brother like working for the company? Is that why she's here?
Also, there's these things called, I think they're AWEs, which are altered world events, I think, or something like that, which is essentially something strange and paranormal, unexpected happening in the world. And one happened in their little hometown when they were kids, and then the boy got whisked away. Oh. And now I'm here to find it. But this was years ago.
Right.
But she seems almost too capable to do everything. Like, she's got this magic gun, which she gets for becoming the director. And she's just, all right, cool, boom, let's go. I've got all these powers, know how to use them straight away, I'm fine. There's no learning curve for her, and she's totally ready to go, which I do kind of like in some ways, because there's no faff, like, oh, I don't know if I can do it.
So IGN gave it, that's a word now, 88%. Control is set in an engrossingly weird paranormal world that I couldn't help but explore. Jessie's versatile psychic skills and main weapon make for thrilling ranged combat, and thanks to a strong supporting cast, a well-written script, and plenty of intriguing breadcrumb trails, I've thoroughly enjoyed my adventure through the shifting rooms of Oldest House. Jessie's personal story feels like an afterthought next to that, but there's enough to Control's world that I remain invested in uncovering every secret, even though the story's over.
Yeah, I think her personal story coming second to that does seem...
It's weaker than
accurate from what I've experienced. Because it is very mysterious, and it's letting the world tell the story. And there's very little exposition, which can be a good thing, but also can be a bad thing, because it's not giving you any information.
Yeah.
But it's all about feel and kind of feeling what's happening in the world. Right, now this should be fun, because these things blow up.
Boom.
Boom, you're dead. These floating bodies are always fun, because these are people infected with this hiss nonsense. Oh, fuck. But they're kind of the low-level ones who aren't threatening. They won't attack you.
Cool. Just a little info on the health bar on the bottom left. It rejuvenates when you collect the blue crystals on the floor, a la Doom, right?
Yeah, which I think is a great idea, because it encourages you to keep killing people. I mean, I've just turned him to my side, so he's not going to be much of a threat. So let's kill this.
So it forces you to
keep being aggressive, and keep fighting them.
There we go. Rage
so let's just finish him off. So yeah, see these little blue crystally blobs. Oh, and just picked up a weapon mod there.
So you can't just cower behind things. It's not a cover shooter, right?
No.
It's like in your face. Punch him in the face kind of shooter.
You're meant to dash around, which is why I think you should have this ability from the beginning. Then you can pick stuff up and throw at people. You've got a little force punch thing, which is quite useful.
How did you turn that guy to your side?
So that's an ability I've got. It's called Seize, I think. And you get these abilities by finding what they call objects of power, and they're just ordinary looking objects. So it could just be this fire extinguisher. It looks just like an ordinary fire, like a magician. It's an ordinary wooden box. Nothing out of the ordinary here. And then you go into this little place I think you go to the astral plane where weird stuff's happening, and then you essentially get a new superpower.
Sweet. I like the world, looking around the world as well. Like everything that's interactable gets a little outline, and you notice that like everything you can pick up or whatever, it just feels like the world is very interactive.
And you could basically smash everything.
Yeah.
Like, all of these boxes are destructible. There's loads of offices which you can go in and you can just tear through them and blow everything up.
Destructive environments like that. It's very fun, right? It adds to the fun factor.
Yeah, because if you pick up a guy and fling him at a wall, that's fun. But if you pick him up and fling him through the wall, that's way more fun.
But apparently, according to Remedy, this is only the beginning. And they want to make it clear that, and the quote is, "Next week, we hope to provide our players with an update on future content plans, something we know many of you are very keen on. Stay tuned for more information on that." This is a single-player game exclusively, right?
Yeah.
And they are planning on future content, or they are promising future content, which is the way they do things now with the internet as it is and gaming as it is. Even single player games get future content. Look, Days Gone is the prime example, like one of this year's games, or one of our favorite games of this year, where they just keep adding to it with no price for it, no DLC to pay for. They just keep adding to the game and adding post. What do you call it? Like new game plus content. Yeah,
so they've added a bunch of new challenges, and I think the last one's out as of this week, and they just show off the game's individual strengths, and they're not story based, and I don't think there's anything confirmed story based, but there's plenty of speculation going around that we will get something story based.
Yeah, so they're going to do that for Control, which is great. I like that. I like that element, where it feels like they're not doing it just for the money. They're doing it because they're just adding more to the game, giving you more value for your purchase initially, because this is a AAA game, this is a full price game. You would expect them to give you the most for that and not just try and throw microtransactions in there, which to my knowledge aren't present.
But there's some, like, I think you will be able to get skins, because I got one because I bought it early. I had a little code in there to get an extra skin. I'm not wearing it right now, but that might be a thing later on, but I'm pretty sure it isn't now. Yeah. So that's great. It's all good, other than performance issues from what I understand. Anyway, it's something that I'm most definitely interested in picking up. If I can find the time in my hectic schedule to play it, I will definitely get it on the PC. There's so many games coming out over the next few months, though, isn't there? It's like there's just so many. You need to get these out of the way. There was a toss-up between this and getting Astral Chain, and I'm waiting for this in the end, although Astral Chain, by all accounts, is doing pretty well as well. That's top of the charts at the moment. Well, you've got Humankind Odyssey out too, which is one from Patrice Desailly, who's the guy who did the original Assassin's Creed. It's not reviewing too well. No. But that was one I was interested in too. It looks interesting concept anyway. And there was another one, I don't remember what was out. That was out this week. But anyway, there's just a lot of things. And then on the horizon, over the horizon, you've got things like The Outer Worlds coming up, which is a huge RPG. You've got the awesome Link's Awakening remake coming on the Switch and things like that. There's just so many things, exciting things. And Death Stranding around the corner too. Star Wars, and you got the new Call of Duty, which it's worth a look, that's for sure. From my if just for the controversy alone. So there you have it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed our brief look at Control, some early gameplay. Let us know what you think of the game, whether you're interested in picking it up, whether you're put off by the performance on the low end consoles, which is currently struggling like hell. Very struggling. Yeah, it seems like every time there's a few enemies in the same small area, it does struggle. So if you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, leave us a comment, head over to patreon.com/prettygoodgame, and if you want to support us bringing you this content here on YouTube. And on behalf of Henry and I, we will see you again in the next video. Until then, bye for now.